It's so nice to see you here, and I know if there's anybody standing in the back looking for seats, there are a couple rows over here and a couple rows over here, but everyone in this concert does have a seat this time, so thank you for being patient last December. I'm so excited to show you the progress these students have made. They have come so far, letting me be much pickier than we were in the fall. We even learned our last piece in a very short amount of time. It was the span of a month. So again, their attention to detail is getting better and better. Their ability to focus and learn a new song, I'm happy with. We are still working on some other skills too, but I'm so excited for what the future holds for these students. Here is our first song, Mississippi Cakewalk. Thank you. That was our newest piece. That was also the piece that I chose to conduct on. They're getting better and better at watching and preparing to come in without having to see what I'm doing or hear what I'm doing. Sonata Vivant, this next one, our cellos have to do some extensions in different locations, which is an adjustment of where they put their fingers down from what they've learned since 5th grade. And then we've got double stops going on in several of the instruments where they're playing more than one at the same note at the same time. And we've got the students adjusting from C natural to C natural. Sorry, the chord's a little compromised. From C naturals to C sharps, an adjustment again of where they're putting their fingers. And that I think is the hardest thing as a string player to do, because we don't have levers and keys to press down. It's all about where we put our fingers. So here is Sonata Vivant. Remember, we're going to do repeat. Let's start in rest position. Rest position. Good rest position. All instruments in rest position. Tyler, thank you. forgot to mention the bow bouncing. Anytime students can coordinate matching the speed of their bow and the direction of their bow and bouncing their bow on the string is miraculous to me. It's one of the most exciting things to look at your students and see them doing that when you're the teacher, because it just is, it takes so much attention and focus, and they were all doing that, and it was really exciting. Our next song is Robin Hood and Little John, and this one can be a tricky one for some students because we have the cellos and the violas playing down on the C string. We have violins and violas really focusing in on the naturals, the C naturals, and for violins, the G naturals. There was a shifting opportunity in this one for some of the violins if they chose to do that. So that you're seeing them move their hands to different locations on the instrument more now. You've seen some students maybe doing this vibrato thing. We're going to be focusing on that after the concert between now and the end of the year as well, just to get them set and prepared and ready for that 8th grade experience. If your student is not continuing, they will be missed within the orchestra program, but we are excited for those that are continuing. They are going to have a fabulous experience, even if it means it's without me right now. But we are going to make sure we get a great person to replace. They have held off posting the job because we're working out some details of what that job is going to be. And I'm personally excited that they haven't posted it yet because that means they're just creating the best job possible to attract the best candidate possible. So here is Robin Hood and Little John. I'm going to say that this is our challenge song because of the key signature. So we're focusing in, we're really working hard here. We've got some basses that are going to switch over to electric bass. So all of the basses have the the opportunity to try electric bass, to get some practice time in a back practice room with the electric bass to see if maybe they wanted to play it on the concert. We had 2 of them select to go for it, so thank you, Marcus and Riley. And don't worry if the others didn't, it's kind of a personal preference, if they like the acoustic instrument or the electric instrument. We have some solos in this. I turn around to talk to them, sorry. We have some solos in this, and you're gonna see 2 smaller groups within the middle of this, and it's exciting. At the end, they'll each have a special bow, and it's just a fun piece for the students. They could have improvised a solo or written a solo on their own, composed it, but we chose to use the written solos for the concert. Here is Boogeyman Blues. Thank you again for coming out to share your evening. I'll ask our gentleman in the back to maybe turn those lights on. Thank you so much. We'll let the students safely exit the stage and pack up their instruments, but if you have any spare time tonight, I'm sure they would love an ice cream or frozen yogurt or something. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can't do it.